Hi developers, welcome back to Code Step by Step. My name is Anil. In this part of Typescript, we will talk about classes. So first of all, we will take a look on theoretical things about classes like what is the definition of class and an example of on a theoretical way. After that, we will learn a class with a practical example also, and we will discuss some standard coding format for classes also that we can follow for better code quality and all, right? So now let's start with the first one, which is the class definition. See, class is basically a user defined data type that describe a type of object, right? So what is that object? Now you have a question that what object we are talking about. So this is a object that we want to implement in our coding. Let's say we have a user, or we want to perform some operations on users. That time we can create a class with the name of user, and inside this class we can define some data and its type. Data like username and email, and we can define these types, and we can add some more methods also, like methods for add new user, for search user, for update user, for delete user and all, right? So these all kind of things are basically defined by the user. That's why we call them a user defined data type. Or there is another one more definition. You can say that classes are the data structure of a object. Why they are data structure? So let's say we have a object with the name of, again, user. That time we have a complete data and its operations inside this class, like data like name, email address and city and contact number and all, and we can perform some operations on these things, like get the user phone number, get user name, add user, remove user, search user and all. So that's why we can say that a class is a data structure of a object. In a class we can define properties as well as some methods also, and method may have a public type. Method and property maybe have a public type, protected type or private type, and there is a one more type for methods, which is static, right? We will discuss all these things in the upcoming video. So now let's take a example of any class in a theoretical way. So let's say we have a user, and again I am just going for the user because this is a perfect example for class, right? So we want some operations with the users in our database or maybe in our application. That time we basically create a class with the name of user. So is that fine? We can create a class with the name of user? Actually not. We must have to create a class with the name of users, not user, because this class can use with the multiple users also. Got my point? Second thing is, whenever we are creating a class, so can I put a class name like Anil or Peter or Bruce? The answer is no. This is not a perfect coding standard, you can say that. It will perfectly fine, it will perfectly working fine if you just put a class name is Peter. But this should not be in the actual meaning, because classes are the real world entities for objects, right? Because Peter or Anil or Bruce, they are the subjects, not objects. So what is the object here? A users can be object, a student can be object, an employee can be a object. Second thing, can I create a class with the name of red? No, I can create a class with the name of colors. Another thing, can I create a class with the name of apple? No, we can create a class with the name of fruits, right? So now I hope you just got my point, and now let's perform an example. So again I will go with the same way and creating a class with the name of user. So I am creating a class like this. So is it perfectly fine? No, we must have to put our class name with the capital letter. And in some projects, this is not applied on all projects and all. In some projects, what actually they do, they put your class name and file name same, so that they can identify in this file what we class have, right? And after that we can define some users properties. Let's say name and after that we can just define here email like this, and we have to use here semicolon with them. And keep in mind we cannot use these classes like let and all, because we cannot define this data type. This is already user is a data type. After that we can define a function. So for functions you don't need to define functions like this, right? So what we can do here, we can just simply define like add user like this, and we can return something inside it, or you can console here. It's totally up to you, right? So now let's return something here, and I am taking a parameter here in a class. Let's say my parameter name is user, and let's return here dollar user is added. And now I can create an object of this class, and I have to run it. Actually I'm just going to delete my previous app.js file, and now let's format it if you want. Okay, and create a object. Let's say my object name is user1, and here we can take a const or let or var, whatever you want, and just create a new user. You don't need to just call with the braces until you are not passing some parameter inside the constructor and all. After that let's just make a let's again take a const with the name of user or result even if you want, and let's simply put here user one dot add user, and username is like say Peter. And after that let's just run here Typescript compiler. Alright, after that you will find that app.js is created, and whenever you will open it you will find the code is little bit complex as compared to the class, because if we want to create a class in core JavaScript, that will be look like this, but we will discuss it later. So now let's open the index.html inside our browser, and let's check out the output. Okay, so I think I just forget something, which is I have to console.log result, and after creating this console.log, again we have to just update my app dot. Okay, seriously, that's my bad. I have to just write this console.log inside the app.ts, right? Just simply put here result, and now let's run here Typescript compiler, and whenever it will run, the same console.log will also update it inside app.ts. Here you can see that, and now we can run it also, and here you can see that Peter is added. Even we can create more functions. Let me just add here one more example. Remove user, and here you can see that is removed, right? And you can just okay, so let me just add here console only here, so that we can know that how we can add a console and print it here, right? Console.log. After that just run it like this, and now let's simply call it let's call another function user1 dot remove, and let's put your username. It can be anything, let's say Bruce and all, and let me just run it again, and let's refresh our page, and here you can see that we got the output from both function. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any query, concern, you can ask me in the comment box, and we will have one more class video with the TypeScript, because in this video we did not pass here our parameters, type and all, right? Thank you so much.